early to talk about basically when I drove in, it was snowing up north in the north part of the metro, but then the snow kind of lightened as I came down south. But obviously, it's kind of sticking to the roads right now, Marina.
Yes, it is a very light snow, but it's been pretty much steady since about...
Welcome back. The good thing is it's the end of the holiday week, so we know not everybody's heading back to work today because that could mean a bigger mess at the peak of rush hour. Yeah. But we did see a few cars on the road, and maybe it'll be like that, but people need to be cautious this morning.
And when I was traveling in, I travel over 494, and it did look like the salt trucks were out, and MnDOT was doing a good job trying to get out there. And it's not a lot of snow, but it's enough to be cumbersome and slick out there. So you just want to leave yourself that extra time and be smart. Probably pick up on an additional inch as we move on into about 3 o'clock today. Then the snow will taper off, and we'll just be looking at flurries this evening into tomorrow morning. And then we'll say goodbye to this system, and we will be looking at very seasonal temperatures as we move on into the next couple of days, but not for long. So as the storm vision rotates this system, we can see that pretty much in south central and portions of southeastern Minnesota and into Wisconsin, we're seeing the brighter white. So Rochester, Eau Claire, that's where we're picking up on a little more snowfall. Here in the metro, we are picking up on snow, but it's that light, misty snow, and it's been happening since about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So the reason that we're accumulating is because it's a long system. And you can see now in the metro, we have those brighter whites here at about 4:42. So that is why we continue to see that light snow moving on in. So just enough to create some problems. We do have a winter weather advisory until noon for those far south central counties, and that's from 3 to 4 inches, maybe even in some select areas 5 inches of snow. But putting our snow meter into motion by Saturday about midday, we should see anywhere from 2 inches in the metro to just a couple inches more as you head further down towards the south. So we'll definitely get Merle in here in a little bit so that she can look at those jam cams and show you where the issues are. But just know that we've got some snow out there this morning. Leave yourself that extra time and bundle up. It's warmer than it has been the last couple of mornings, but it's still pretty cool in the upper teens. I'll give you the forecast for the next 7 days coming up in a bit and more on this morning's Snow Dawn. Back to you.
Sounds good. We'll see you then. Thank you, Marina.
Welcome back to the Fox 9 Early Buzz. I'm meteorologist Marina Jurica, and we are looking at some light snow across the region, if you haven't noticed already. 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon it started, and we picked up anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 inches in the metro already, and we might get an additional ½ an inch to up to 1 inch in snowfall throughout the morning and early afternoon. Looking at our storm vision right now, we can see that we continue to see a little bit moisture, but it is getting slower, which is good news. So as we continue to see this system rotate through, of course, our southern counties, which are under a winter weather advisory near the Iowa border, we'll see the bulk of this system. But looking at our snowfall here, we can see that probably up to about 2 inches of snow right in the metro region. But of course, going down towards the south, it's just a little bit more. And this is just from this morning's totals. So we already picked up on, like I said, about 1 inch, in some locations about 2 inches out there already right now. But 19 currently in the metro, 16 in St. Cloud, 11 in Brainerd. So temperatures a little warmer than the last couple of mornings. And we're going to be very seasonal as we head on to the next couple of days. We're supposed to be in the mid-20s, and that's where we'll be until we get a big Arctic blast in here as we head on into our first week of January. Yes, that is a -2 for our New Year's Eve night. So keep that in mind when you're making your plans, and please be careful out there this morning. Not a lot of snow, but enough to create some issues and be slick. So take your time. Back to you, Don.
Definitely. Good advice. Thanks, Marina.
I'm Fox 9 meteorologist Marina Jurica. 5 o'clock, and we're still seeing some light snow across the region. We picked up anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 inches of snowfall, so not a lot, but enough to wait until you see the New Year's Eve forecast. -2. I'll give you all those details coming up, but we've got a big Arctic blast coming in next week. And of course, we've got the snow out there this morning. So be careful. I'll give you full details coming up in about 9 minutes. The Fox 9 Morning News continues right now.
Fan?
I'm not
Be honest,
really,
it's okay.
Okay, no, I'm just not really a football fan.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
I'm a basketball family. So
well, that's okay because on Sunday you can officially be a Vikings fan since you're not necessarily for any team.
There we go. I'm not, so I can definitely be a Vikings fan. Yes, we are a basketball family, so that runs deep in our
Wolves
family.
fan?
So yes, I definitely am, and a Lakers fan too. So,
Ew.
I know, I know.
We'll give you a hard time. As long as the
But
Vikings win on Sunday, I think a lot of people are excited about that. But until then, we've got to talk about what's going on the roads this morning.
yes, and we do have a little bit of storm vision right now. We can see that snow is tapering. Over the last couple of hours, we've seen it slowing down, but light snow started at about 3, 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it hasn't really stopped, but it's been just that nice, light, fine snow. So that's why the accumulations are not as big as they could have been if it was a heavier snow. But giving you a close-up look at the metro, we can see that we continue to see that light snowfall, and as I mentioned, we will until about early afternoon. So while I was driving in, roads were a little slick, especially turning and stopping radiuses, so it's just enough to create some problems that you're going to want to leave yourself that extra time. But we do see a winter weather advisory until noon for an additional couple of inches on top of what we've already seen down there towards the south. So putting our snow meter in motion, we can see that we're going to get close to about 2 inches in the metro, and then a little bit more as you head further down south on I-35. Live look outside right now. It's actually really, really pretty. It's a light, fluffy snow, so it's landing on everything, so it looks like a winter wonderland out there. 19 degrees right now. A little bit of a wind chill, though. 12 degrees with northeasterly winds at about 5 miles per hour. Quick look at your weekend. Light flurries as we head on into our Saturday morning with some slow clearing, hoping for a little bit of sunshine on Sunday, but very seasonal as temperatures stay in the mid to low 20s. Back to you, Don.
All right, thank you, Marina. Still to come for Keith Marler talking about that snow that's out there this morning. Good morning.
Right. Good morning. We are seeing about 1 to 2 inches, so not enough to be a whole mess, but enough to create slick conditions out there, so you're going to want to leave yourself that extra time. I noticed while I was coming in, I drive over 494, and it looked pretty good, especially in the right lane. However, on the side streets, I did skid a little bit as I was turning, so you just want to make sure that you leave yourself that extra time, watch those stopping distances. You know the drill. Old hat already, but at least it's a couple of inches and it's a nice light fresh snow, so it is just landing on everything and making things look like a winter wonderland. It's very, very pretty, so just drive carefully. Snowfall up to about 2 inches in the metro as we head on into about 3 o'clock today, and then it'll taper off into some light flurries. However, our south central counties that are under that winter weather advisory will continue to see snowfall till about tonight, and then that will be about 3 to 4 inches total, so just a couple of inches more as you head further down towards the south. So if you're traveling down I-35 towards Rochester, heading to Mankato, you will notice a difference from the metro by a couple of inches. Current temperatures right now, 19 degrees in the metro, 16 in St. Cloud, 10 in Brainerd, 12 in Alex. So temperatures very seasonal for this time of year. We're supposed to be in the mid-20s for highs, teens for lows, and that's where exactly we will stand all the way through Sunday before we have a huge Arctic system that moves in for our last day of 2012. It's going to be a cold one if you've got some plans for New Year's Eve. But 24 degrees, light snow, it's tapering off. As I mentioned, 3 or 4 o'clock, we should see it all turn over into some flurries into tonight. 12 degrees for our overnight low, and then heading on into our Saturday, about 22. Few flurries floating around. We might see some slow clearing later on in the day, but we're stuck in a rut with some stubborn clouds that'll just keep rotating in here. So I'm hoping for a little more sunshine on Sunday. Otherwise, you can see just a whole lot cooler as we head on into next week. -2 on our New Year's Eve night, so keep that in mind when you're making your plans to go out and about. Might want to add an extra layer to that pretty dress. Back to you, Don.
I don't know if you've been out on New Year's, but there are no extra layers downtown. They still wear the skimpy outfits.
That's crazy. I'm sorry. I would be wearing like 3 extra layers if it was -2.
Too. Exactly. Thanks, Marina.
Marina Jurica, we've got some light snow across the region for your Friday morning. Hopefully you can just snuggle in bed this morning, but if you are heading up in a few minutes. The Fox 9 Morning News continues right now.
Good story.
No, so just make sure that you leave yourself that extra padded time. It is only an inch or 2 of snowfall out there right now, but it continues to lightly snow, and it's just enough to be pretty slick out there. Looking at our storm vision right now, we can see that we continue to see that light snow, but here over the last, I'd say 20-30 minutes, it's definitely lightened up. We've seen a persistent light snow since about 3 o'clock yesterday evening, but you can see we're socked in throughout the morning, and then we've got a few breaks that are starting to pop up here at this 5:30 hour. So we will continue to see a little bit of ebb and flow when it comes to this snowfall throughout the morning, and then by early afternoon turning into some light flurries, and then it'll just stay light flurries for the rest of the afternoon and evening. We do have that winter weather advisory until noon for those south central counties, especially if you're heading down south on I-35 and heading towards even Mankato. Those folks are reporting already 3 to 4 inches of snowfall. So we will be looking at probably up to about 2 inches of snowfall when all is said and done here in the metro. Just shy of that, you head further down towards the south. Of course, it's getting a little bit more. You head further up towards the north, and it's just about an inch. And really, it looks like the worst of it will stay in south central portions of Wisconsin if you are traveling into that direction. But taking a live look outside right now, it's actually really, really pretty. And especially once we lighten the sky up, it's a winter wonderland out there because it was a very light, fluffy snow. So it's landing on everything and making for a very picturesque day, but hopefully not a stressful day Leave yourself that extra time, though. 19 degrees. Northeasterly winds are just at 5 miles per hour, which is creating a little bit of a wind chill at about 13. And you can see that temperatures are a little bit cooler up towards the north, a little bit warmer down towards the south. We are seasonable for this time of year. Mid-20s are where we're supposed to be for highs, and that's what we'll reach today, in teens for lows. And our wind chill factor will be about 5 to 10 degrees as we move on into the day today. So giving you a quick look at your weekend. 24 as we head on into tomorrow. Just some flurries. That's about it. Otherwise, slow clearing and hoping for a little more sunshine on Sunday with a high of about 22. But holy moly, do we cool things down as we head on into our New Year's Eve. I'll tell you all about that coming up. But now Merle is
cute. Oh, gorgeous. Yes. Beautiful. You could be in Hollywood.
Oh, yeah, sure. All right, well, looking at our storm vision, we are seeing a couple inches of snowfall out there, folks, so things are a little bit slick. So you want to make sure that you drive carefully. Leave yourself a little bit of extra time. Even when I was turning at 5 miles per hour, I skidded a little bit. So it's just enough to create some issues out there this morning. So if you are going to be heading out and about to work, you want to make sure you leave that extra time. Looking at our storm vision right now, we can see things are actually tapering down. So we will continue to see some light snowfall through the morning hours, but it's going to get lighter and lighter, and then we'll just be looking at some flurries. But that winter weather advisory is down to our south and south central portions of Minnesota, which includes Mankato, Rochester. If you're heading down south on I-35, keep that in mind because you will see more snow than the metro, which, as I said, picked anywhere from about 1 inch to 2 inches. We might see up to a ½ an inch more in the metro, but things are starting to slow down now, which is good news, and up to 4 inches of snow as you head further down towards the south. So putting our snow meter on, we can see that probably by the time tonight is all said and done, we're going to be right at about 2 inches in the metro, just shy of that, and then heading down towards the south, we are going to be looking at just a little bit more. So today we're topping out at 24, which is exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. 25 is our average high. Light snow will end this morning, and then we're just going to be looking at a few flurries as we head on into the afternoon. Flurries sticking around tonight with a low of 12, and then as we move on into our Saturday, 22. A few flurries in the morning mainly, and then very slow clearing. We've got stuck in a rut with these stubborn clouds, and basically what's going to happen is we're going to be stuck there for quite some time, but I'm hoping by Sunday we can see a little bit more sunshine. That would be fantastic. But then we get an Arctic blast of air that's going to make Monday night into Tuesday very cool. We're talking of a low of -2. So that is going to be a very chilly New Year's Eve. Keep that in mind as we stay relatively a pretty decent amount below normal through the first week of January. Merle, how are those roads looking? Expected, we've got 1 inch to 2 inches of snowfall in the region this morning, so make sure you leave yourself that extra time. It's just enough to create some problems out there, and Merle will have more on traffic in just a moment, but let's get you. This continues at this 6 o'clock hour, so stay with us.
Stories to tell as far as getting
She
here
does!
today?
Didn't you?
I know, I literally went in 10 miles an hour.
That's
but
right.
Even when I turned onto Flying Cloud, and I mean literally I was going like a snail, I still felt the back tires skid a little bit. So, you know, I mean, it's just enough out there to create some problems as you are heading out, but it's not a horrible amount. We're seeing anywhere from about 1 inch or 2 inches total accumulation in the metro right now, with up to about a ½ an inch more expected as we head on into the morning hours. Things are tapering right now. The last 30, 45 minutes, we've gotten a slower when it comes to that light snow, which is good, and we'll taper to some flurries as we head on into the afternoon tonight and even through tomorrow morning. But it's really our south central counties that have that winter weather advisory until noon today that have the best chance to pick up on the bulk of that snow. So if you're traveling south on I-35 this morning and throughout the day, you're going to encounter a lot more snowfall than the further north that you head. And looking at those snowfall amounts here over the next hour or two, we're probably going to taper to just some flurries, but we will see up to about 2 inches when all is said and done. You head further up I-94, you can see it's just a trace to about 1 inch, but then you head further down I-35, excuse me, and we are looking at up to 2 inches and then 4 inches by the time we head on to 3 or 4 o'clock this afternoon. So looking live outside right now, once the light comes up, we're going to be looking here in the next couple of hours at a winter wonderland. It was a nice light fluffy snow, persistent snow for about 24 hours in length, but it's going to make things look beautiful. 19 currently right now, 12 degrees is what it feels like. 24 tomorrow, 22 on Sunday. Few flurries as we head on into our Saturday, but very seasonal weather, hoping for a little more sunshine on Sunday, but let me tell you about a very cold New Year's Eve forecast that's on tap for us as we head on into next week. Merle, how are those roads looking?
Now she's in for Keith, looking at, well, a day that will be very focused on the weather because there is weather.
That's right. A couple inches of snowfall out there when all is said and done. We've got about an inch and a half already on the roads. And as I was driving in this morning, it's not a lot of snow, but it's just enough to make things slick. So you just want to make sure that you keep that in mind. Taking a look at our storm vision right now, we can see that actually things have lightened up here over the last hour or so, but staying still pretty persistent and heavy down towards our south. And of course, that's where we have that winter weather advisory in south central portions of the state, down south on I-35 from Mankato over to Rochester. But we are quieting down here in the metro, and you can see that very nicely. It's our southern suburbs from Bloomington heading over to South St. Paul, Maplewood over into Hudson that are still dealing with that heavier light snow, I guess you could say, because it's been a light snow since about 3-4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So it's just enough to create some slick spots and some trouble. And so just make sure that you leave yourself plenty of time and watch your stopping distances and your turning. That's where I noticed it the most this morning, is that I really had to press on the brakes lightly and go slowly into a turn. But winter weather advisory until noon just for those counties down towards the south, and they'll see up to about 4 inches of snow. Putting our snow meter here in advance, when all is said and done, we'll have flurries tonight into tomorrow morning, and then we'll slowly start to clear, but about 2 inches is what we're looking at in the metro. But we'll continue to see some light flurries off and on throughout the day, but not really much that's going to accumulate. 19 currently in the metro, a little cooler up north, a little warmer down towards the south, and we're actually exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year, with 24 right now for our high today, 12 tonight, flurries into tomorrow morning, 22, and we're hoping to get a little bit more sunshine in here by Sunday, but holy moly, we have a much cooler end to 2012. -2 will be our overnight temperature for New Year's Eve, so keep that in mind when planning your outing events and especially your outfit for sure. But then much cooler as we head on into the first week of January as expect. GIF to you. Hopefully you're snuggled up in your bed and you can just look at the pretty winter wonderland out there. But if you have to head out and about this morning, it is slick. I want to give you fair warning because we have seen some accidents and some issues out there. Even when I was driving in this morning, I was only going about 10 miles an hour and I slid a little bit. So it's deceptive. It is a 1 to 2 inch snowfall, but it is very slick and it has been persistent since about 3-4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. But looking at our storm vision, we can see that it is slowing down in the metro. The heaviest of snow has stayed to our south as expected. South central Minnesota still under that winter weather advisory until noon today for 4 inches of snowfall. But for us, we have seen snowfall actually die down here over the last hour. But we'll see some light snow off and on all the way through about midday, and then some flurries as we head on into the afternoon. So total accumulation up to 2 inches. We might get another ½ an inch as we head on into the morning hours. So heads up. Winter weather advisory, as I mentioned, until noon, and you can see, especially if you're traveling south on I-35, I've gotten a lot of reports on Facebook of things, especially Mankato, already 4 inches of snow, Rochester, 3.5 inches of snow. So it's just a lot more as you head further down towards the south. And putting our snow meter in motion, we can see up to about 2 inches before all is said and done by the time we head on into tonight. Live look outside, not too bad, 19. Feels like 13, and as we move on into the weekend, we're actually going to see seasonable temperatures, mid-20s for highs and teens for lows, but then we bottom out in a big way, and I'll give you those details coming up in about 9 minutes. Merle, how does it look?
Marina, we've already seen it cause some havoc on the roads for sure.
That's right, and like you said, it's deceptive. It's been a light snow for the past about 12 hours now, and because of that, and the fact that it's persistent, we've seen about 1 inch to 2 inches of accumulation all across the metro. And even though things are tapering down right now, we'll continue to see those flurries throughout the day. And as expected, our south central counties continue to see that heavier snow, and that's where that winter weather advisory is. But keying in here on the metro, we can see that we have seen a persistent snowfall for quite some time, but things are slowly starting to quiet down. Now we'll continue to see flurries with this system, but we will be looking at off and on light snow showers throughout the morning and the midday, and then probably about up to ½ an inch more of accumulation than what we've already seen right now. So taking a look at our snow meter, we can see that up to about 2 inches is what we're expected to see as we head on into the metro throughout the day today. And now moving out further towards the south, we'll see a little bit more snowfall and then less as you head further up towards the north. So especially if you're driving south on I-35, keep that in mind, because even a viewer sent me a Facebook message saying it was a huge difference between the metro and even Faribault. So, I mean, just a huge difference between an inch or two of snowfall. So you want to make sure you take it easy. But 19 degrees currently in the metro right now, a little cooler up towards the north, a little warmer down towards the south. We're actually exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year weather-wise, mid-20s. And those are our average highs for our last couple of days of December. So light snow tapering off to just some flurries as we head on into the afternoon. And tonight, 12 degrees for our overnight low, and then 22 as we head on into Saturday with a few flurries, especially earlier in the day, and then some very slow clearing. I'm really hoping we get to see a little more sunshine on Sunday, but we're stuck in a rut right now with these stubborn clouds. And then as we move on into the last day of 2012 and the first day of 2013, lots of sunshine, but -2 for our New Year's Eve overnight temperature. So keep that in mind. But Dawn just informed me that it doesn't matter. All the people out in downtown are still in their little mini skirts and
That's right.
stilettos and their tops, but not me. I'm going to be wearing a full parka.
Yes, they do not cover up. I was surprised the first year I got here and went downtown. What in the world is this?
They go out there without a coat on. I know, it's crazy. I used to be one of those.
Back in the day.
Not anymore, right? I'm right there with you.
Thanks, Marina.
Well, we're looking at about another up to an inch, but things are slowing down. We've got an inch or two already on the ground, so make sure you take it easy. High today will be 24. I'll give you the details on the snow and what the rest of the weekend has in store for us in just a little bit.
Today, not as many people on the roads, but boy, it kind of seems like it. We've been looking at the jam cams.
I know, it does,
Yeah.
and maybe it's just clogged up because, well, there's we've got salt trucks out there.
Right.
More people than I thought.
Yeah,
would be out
definitely.
about the Friday before another long holiday weekend, but we are looking at some snow out there. It's not a lot of snow, but it's enough to create some issues with some slick spots, so you want to make sure you take it easy. I even noticed this morning going 10 miles an hour, I made a turn and my back wheel started to skid a bit. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to impact your morning commute, so you're going to want to leave yourself plenty of time as you're heading out and about. The good news here, over the last hour and a half or so, we've actually seen those light snow showers diminish in the metro, and we'll continue to see that with, of course, the bulk of the snow down in south central portions of the state. So giving you a bird's eye view here of the metro, we can see that pretty much consistent and persistent snowfall since 3 p.m. yesterday, but now it's becoming a little more patchy. So we'll continue to see light snow showers off and on through the morning and early afternoon, and then it'll taper to just some flurries as we head on into tonight and tomorrow. We still have that winter weather advisory in effect until noon for those south central counties. So if you're traveling south on I-35, I've gotten a lot of Facebook messages. Thank you for sending those in, and please continue to send those and some pictures in if you have them as well to us. And from anywhere from Mankato, Rochester, already seeing about 3 to 4 inches of snowfall with that system. So it's a little bit heavier down towards the south, and when all is said and done, we will see about 2 inches here in the metro on our storrometer, and a little bit more as we move on into our southern counties toward Iowa. So as you head out this morning, you're going to want to leave yourself plenty of time because we are well below freezing. Taking a look outside, 19 degrees, a lot of slick spots out there with just a northeasterly wind at 5 miles per hour. We've got a feel like temperature around 12 degrees. So it's chilly, but guess what? It's exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. Temperatures in the teens for lows and mid-20s for highs, and that's actually where we will be all the way through Sunday. So just keep that in mind. Single digits up towards the north, 20s down towards the south, and giving you a look at your weekend. We'll be topping out at 24 tomorrow, 22 as we head on into Sunday, and I'm hoping that we get a little more sunshine as we move on into the latter part of the weekend. We'll get plenty of sunshine as we say goodbye to 2012 on Monday, but it's going to come at a huge temperature price. That's for sure. I'll tell you more about that coming up in about 9 minutes. Otherwise, ladies, just be safe while you're out there, and hopefully our viewers are doing the same.
All right, out there on the roads because of the snow, and that has been, we've been getting hit with that since yesterday afternoon. Nothing really heavy though. Nice and light, but very consistent and persistent.
That's right. So we continue to see that light snow out there this morning, and we'll see those light snow showers off and on throughout the morning hours, tapering to flurries later on today. The good news is, though, is here over the last hour and a half or so, snow has lightened up even more so across the metro, but you can see that our southern counties, especially south along I-35 from Mankato to Rochester, we have that swath of heavier snow that's up to 4 inches already for the folks down there, just in case you're traveling in that neck neck of the woods. And that's where our winter weather advisory is. And that is until noon today. And we also have a winter weather advisory well north of Duluth, heading up towards the upper Great Lakes region, North Shore. So we are going to be seeing light snow off and on as we head on into the morning, and I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but an inch or two has already fallen in the metro region, and that is creating for slick driving conditions. And we've seen this since about 3 or 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. So moving this forward, as we can see, just a touch right now, but it's going to pick up a little bit again as we head on into the next hour or two. So we'll pick up on an additional up to about ½ an inch of snowfall as we head on into the morning, on top of what we've already seen, and then we'll taper to just some flurries as we move on into the afternoon. So you want to take it easy out there. It is slick. I was driving in and driving very slow, and still I was a little bit slippery from side to side while I was making a turn. So you want to make sure that you take it easy as you're outside. But until noon today, 3 to 4 inches, of course, for those south central counties and also up towards the North Shore. Putting our snowfall meter into motion, we can see that by tomorrow morning, we should be looking at 2 inches on the ground in the metro, a little more down towards the south, and a little less up towards the north. Currently, we're at 19 degrees in the metro, a little bit cooler up north, a little warmer down towards the south, but we're exactly where we're supposed to be in the metro for this time of year. Average highs are around 25 with lows in the teens, and that's where we'll be all the way through Sunday. So 24 today, light snow will taper off, but really all day today, you really need to make sure that you're leaving yourself plenty of time, because even with some flurries, we're going to be seeing slick conditions. And of course, with temperatures well below freezing and no sunshine, the snow isn't going to be going anywhere. But MnDOT has been out and about all morning, making those roads a little safer. So 12 degrees tonight with a few flurries around. Flurries heading on into tomorrow morning as well, and then we're going to gradually clear, but we're kind of stuck in a rut. High of 22 tomorrow, a lot of stubborn clouds, but I'm really hoping by Sunday we can get a little more sunshine in here before we really cool things down. We get an Arctic blast on our last day of 2012, and yes, New Year's Eve, -2 degrees. So it's going to be a very chilly night, whatever your plans may be, and then a cool below normal temperature first week in January. Here's forecast on the way to show you, so stay with us, and I'll give you the very latest on that snow as we head on into the next half hour. The Fox 9 Morning News continues right now, so stay with us.
Morning to
Did
a
you
Vikings
really?
fan.
You're a Vikings fan now?
I am not a pro. My house, we're all basketball, really college basketball fans, and so we are not pro football fans. But so that
Therefore,
makes me a Vikings fan.
There you go on Sunday.
Because there we go. I won't be rooting for anybody else.
That's right.
I found out that my UCLA Bruins lost in the Holiday Bowl last night, so I was very depressed. They not only lost, they devastatingly lost against Baylor.
Didn't Texas win last night?
It was Baylor versus
Baylor,
UCLA.
I know. You know what?
Yeah.
My niece and her husband, he went to UCLA, she went to Baylor. They went to the game together.
And what are the chances? And they went to San Diego.
I'm going to have to give her a shout out, and her husband's going to be upset.
Yeah, no, it was a depressing loss, but that's all right because I didn't stay up and lose my sleep to watch it. So it was a good night not to do that. Our storm vision showing a slick start this morning. So all kidding aside, you're going to want to make sure you leave yourself plenty of time. If you're cozy in bed, not having to go out on the roads this morning, fantastic. If not, please leave yourself an extra time. I know you're thinking 1 to 2 inches. Come on, we get this all the time. However, we've already seen this morning with Merle showing us those traffic cameras, a lot of issues. So leave yourself that extra time. Leave yourself that pad with a stopping distance. You know the drill. Our storm vision is showing that we saw a little bit of a break here over the last hour or so with just some light snow showers. Now things are starting to pick up just a little bit, especially in our south metro. And we do have that winter weather advisory until noon for up to about 4 inches of snowfall in south central portions of the state. So I've gotten a lot of Facebook comments from you folks driving south on I-35. Thank you. Keep us posted out there. We've seen a lot more snowfall, especially as you're heading towards Mankato, Rochester, and south on I-35. That seems to be where the bulk of the snowfall has hit. And putting our snow meter into motion here, we're expecting about up to 2 inches of snow. So another ½ an inch, maybe inch, but more likely ½ an inch of snowfall with this system in the metro for the next hour, probably all the way until midday, and then just some flurries with about another inch to inch and a half in our southern counties. But live look outside, things are starting to lighten up here, about 10 minutes to sunrise. Not that we're going to see much sunshine, but with cloudy skies, at least we're going to be able to see things a little bit better out there. So traffic slow, but at least things looking pretty good here in Eden Prairie. 19 degrees right now, 13 feel-like temperature, 24 tomorrow, 22 on Sunday, other than a few flurries on Saturday. I'm hoping we get to see a bit more sunshine on Sunday, but wait till you see that 7-day. If you like Arctic temperatures, that's what our New Year's Eve is looking like as we go below 0. But other than that, just take it easy this morning, Merle. I know there's been traffic problems all.
Those roads are just tough out there for some folks.
I know, and a lot of people think 1 to 2 inches, Dawn, and they're like, hey, you know, I can do this.
Right,
I can
not a
handle
big deal.
this, but it is a big deal, and it's creating some problems because folks think they can handle a turn and then slipping out of control. So 1 to 2 inches, but on very slick driving conditions. So just make sure that you leave yourself some extra pads, some extra time. The good news is our storm vision is showing that things have actually quieted down here a little bit over the last hour or two, but they're starting to pick up, and those light snow showers are starting to build again. But throughout the morning, and really since 3 or 4 o'clock yesterday, we saw light snow showers, and now we can see that moisture starting to pick up from the south again, and we're starting to pick up on those light snow showers that are becoming a little more persistent right now at this almost 8 o'clock hour. So just leave yourself the extra time. The snow, at least the light snow, is not going anywhere until early afternoon, and then we'll be left with flurries the rest of the day. Now, we do have a winter weather advisory until noon for those south central counties in Minnesota, and that is basically for up to 4 inches of snow. So a couple more inches of snow. I've gotten a lot of reports down south on I-35 that things are slick and there's a lot more snow than in the metro, especially if you're heading down towards Mankato or Rochester. Keep that in mind. But looking at our snow meter, up to about 2 inches is what we're anticipating in the metro when all is said and done by tonight. And then, of course, anywhere from 3 to 4 inches as you head further down towards the south. If you have any snow pictures, or especially if you have any slick spots on the interstates, I'm sure Merle would enjoy seeing those as well. So please send those in to fox9.com. Live look outside right now, very cloudy, and we're going to continue to stay cloudy throughout the day. And actually, it was even hard in my headlights to see that light snow because it's wispy. It's very, very light, but because it's persistent, that's why it's accumulating. So we can't even really see it right now. It's not those nice, big, juicy flakes that we've seen in the last couple of systems. Just some light, misty snow, and it's 19 degrees currently with calm winds, but still with calm winds. Just at about 0 to 5 miles per hour, we're seeing a feel-like temperature of about 13. 24 degrees today, snow tapering off. It's very light, but still creating some issues. Mostly cloudy, flurries around tonight with a low of 12, 22 tomorrow, a few flurries in the morning, and then hoping that we get a little more sunshine on Sunday before we really see the sunshine and those temperatures bottom out. -2 on our New Year's Eve night, so it's going to be cold for those revelers out there. Right,
Marina?
Yes, but always look on the bright side.
Love it.
of
See,
life.
that's what we need.
There we go. Looking at our storm vision this morning, yes, you are going to have a little bit of a hassle this morning as you're heading out and about. I know when I say 1 to 2 inches, you're thinking, hey, I can handle that. But it's slick and it's creating issues all across the region. Not everywhere, but in a lot of spots. So just make sure you take it easy, leave yourself plenty of time, and watch your stopping distance. That's what always gets people in the snow. Storm vision right now showing that things have tapered a little bit, but it seems like now they're picking up again, especially in the south metro. And taking a close look at this right now, we did see a brief period of just a few flurries, but now it seems to be picking up all over the region once again. But south central portions of Minnesota continue to get more of that 3 to 4 inches of snowfall, and that's why that winter weather advisory is for the folks down towards the south until noon today, especially traveling south on I-35. That's where we've been getting the biggest Facebook messages as to where it's very slick, and just folks are seeing a lot more snow in that general direction from Mankato over into Rochester. Putting our snowfall amounts over in the region, we can see that basically up to 2 inches of what we're expecting out of this system here in the metro, with a little bit more snow showers as you head further down towards the south, and then a little bit less as you head more towards the north, except for the North Shore. You folks are also under winter weather advisory, and those folks up towards the northeast will see same 3 to 4 inches as folks down towards the south. And we've got a little bit of brightening, and you can tell that the sun's trying to come through all of that haze, but it will be mostly cloudy throughout the day today. Traffic seems to be running smoothly here outside the station in Eden Prairie. It is chilly, but exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. 19 with a feel-like temperature of 12. Northeasterly winds will be kicking at about 5 to 10 today. So we'll see a slight wind chill factor, but it won't be horrible. Tomorrow, 24 degrees, maybe a few flurries floating around, otherwise slow clearing. And I'm really hoping we can get a better amount of sunshine strolling in on Sunday. It just depends. We've got a lot of stubborn clouds out there. So I'm hoping that we get some more sunshine on Sunday. And then we say goodbye to normal temperatures and hello to Arctic blast as we move on into next week. So I'll give you those details coming up in about 9 minutes. Be safe on the roads. Back to you, ladies.
We were going out.
Ooh, I'm telling you, I'm going to be one of those people. Speaking of New Year's Eve hosts, though, Carson Daly has done a lot of the hosting and stuff. And he was on the plane ride with me on Sunday night back from LA. And I didn't realize that his wife is from, well, girlfriend is from Minnesota, and they had their new little baby girl and their son there, and they were very nice. Oh. So amongst the probably 40, including mine, screaming children, on that flight back from Los Angeles on Sunday. So looking at our storm vision, happy to say, yes, we have created a winter wonderland across the region with a couple of inches of new snow. However, it is creating traffic headaches as expected. So make sure you leave yourself some extra time. Watch your stopping distances. You know the drill. We'll continue to see light snow showers to flurries off and on throughout the rest of the day today. We might pick up on another maybe half an inch, but the bulk of what we've seen in the overnight, which was about 1 inch to 2 inches, is what the metro will be looking at. But we had a little bit of a break earlier, and you can see now those light snow showers are starting to fill right back on in again. We've got a lot of moisture coming out of this area, low pressure out of the south, and that's just kind of streamlining it up into our area, and that'll be expected throughout the rest of the day today until we kick this out of here and are only left with a few flurries for our Saturday. But winter weather advisory until noon for 3 to 4 inches, and I've gotten a lot of reports, especially going south on I-35, that a lot of issues with 3 to 4 inches, more slick conditions, driving conditions are a little bit more intense there, visibility reduced. So if you're traveling south there towards Mankato or Rochester, just keep that in mind. Also, if you're traveling up towards the North Shore, those folks are getting a whole lot more snowfall too with this system. Our snow meter for the rest of the day today, we are talking up to 2 inches here in the metro, and that is it. But if you head up towards the north, it'll be a little less. If you head out down towards the south, it shall be a little bit more. So it just depends on where you are. But taking a live look outside right now, we're socked in. These clouds are going to be pretty stubborn here for the next couple of days. We might see peaks of sunshine from time to time, but we'll keep that rotation of clouds heading back on in here. But traffic running pretty smoothly in Eden Prairie, 19 degrees currently right now, feeling like 13. That light snow will taper off. 24 for our high today, which is exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. 12 tonight, 22 tomorrow. A few flurries with slow clearing. We are hoping to see a little more sunshine on Sunday, maybe partly cloudy skies before, yes, -2 rolls in for Monday night. So that is definitely something we need to plan for. We'll be right back in a moment, folks. So good morning. I'm Fox 9 meteorologist Marina Jurica. We are dealing with 1 to 2 inches of snowfall across the region. You might say to yourself, that's not a whole lot of snow, but it's enough to create issues out there, and the entire region somewhat is dealing with it. Our south central counties, especially down south on I-35, more so, up to 4 inches of snow. The rest of us up to 2, but still, it's creating slick conditions all across the area, and you're going to want to make sure that you drive carefully. Taking a look at our storm vision and keying it in on the metro, we have been seeing light snow showers off and on. They were very consistent since 3 to 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon to about 6 o'clock this morning, but now it's off and on, intermittent. And as we head on into the early afternoon, it'll turn over into just some flurries, and then we'll see flurries for the rest of the afternoon and evening. But up to about a half an inch of snowfall we can still see with this system. Winter weather advisory until noon for those south central counties, as well as up in the North Shore for up to 4 inches of snow. I'll give you more details on this system, plus what your New Year's has in store for you in just a moment. Merle? You can't tell, Dawn, but I'm salivating.
I bet right you
now.
are.
I absolutely love Pazzaluna's gnocchi. It is unbelievable, and I'm very fussy when it comes to my gnocchi, and it's so tender and just, oh. All right, well, now my stomach's grumbling. Storm vision is showing that we have a tough start to the day today. I know it doesn't sound like a lot of snow, 1 to 2 inches. However, it's creating just enough of a slick road for issues all across the region. So please leave yourself that extra time and take it easy. I know that MnDOT's been out there, and a lot of the interstates and freeways are looking good, but those side streets you really need to watch out on. Storm vision right now showing that we are seeing ebbs and flows, whereas before it was a pretty consistent and persistent light snowfall for about 12 hours. Now it's just off and on, and that's pretty much where we'll be for the rest of the day, tapering to flurries by the time we head on into tonight. Looking closely here at the metro, you can see that we've died down a little bit here and there, and then we've picked up a little again, and now we're seeing just some light intermittent snow showers at this almost 9 o'clock hour. We still do have that winter weather advisory in effect until noon for a few inches more snowfall as you head further down towards the south. Now in the metro, we might pick up on up to about a half an inch more snowfall, but the bulk of what we've seen is pretty much what we've gotten. But 1.5 to 2 inches more for the south central portion of the state, from Mankato over to Rochester. If you're traveling south on I-35, we've gotten a lot of reports of some slick roads there as well. So putting our snow meter into action here, we can see just about up to 2 inches of snow for the metro, a little bit less as you head up towards the north, and a little bit more as you move on down towards the south. Not a big system, but enough that it's persistent to give us about an inch or two when all is said and done. Very cloudy out there here as we approach 9 o'clock. 19 currently, 13 feels like, 24 by the time all is said and done this afternoon, which is exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. 12 tonight as a few flurries stick around. And then as we move on into our Saturday, we're looking at 22 degrees, a few morning flurries, and then very slow clearing. Very stubborn clouds are going to rotate with us here for the next couple of days, but I'm hoping we get a little more sunshine. On Sunday, we'll definitely be dry, which is great. And then as we move on into the beginning of the week, believe it or not, big Arctic blast of air. -2 Monday night into Tuesday. So if you got some New Year's Eve plans to head out and about, just make sure that you bundle up. So it's going to be a chilly one. Ladies, back to you. That's right. A couple of inches fell in the overnight, anywhere from 1 to 2 inches across the metro. So not a whole lot, but enough to create slick traveling conditions. And we've been seeing that all morning long. So please, I cannot stress enough, leave yourself plenty of time at this 9 o'clock hour. We'll continue to see maybe up to about a ½ inch more accumulation in the metro, more as you head down towards the south central portion of the state, where we continue to see that winter weather advisory. But things have actually quieted down here over the last couple of hours. And keying in on the metro, we can see that it's been an ebb and flow of some light snow and then just intermittent light snow to some flurries. And that's pretty much what we're going to expect for the rest of the day today, before we just taper to a few scattered flurries in the overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But we still do have that winter weather advisory in effect, and that is until noon today for that south central portion of the state. Up to 4 inches of snowfall, especially being felt from Mankato to Rochester, heading south on I-35 and also in the North Shore region. So getting you set up for the day, as I mentioned, some light snow, intermittent with some flurries off and on throughout the rest of the day today. We'll top out at 24 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. And that's exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. And live look outside right now, traffic running pretty smoothly in Eden Prairie. But as Merle has been following all morning, there has been, unfortunately, some accidents off and on across the region. But 19 degrees currently, with even the slightest wind out of the northeast. We're feeling like 14. I'll give you more details in the next half hour on that 7-day forecast and very cold New Year's Eve. Merle's going to get you updated on
snow all morning. Good morning, Marina.
Good morning. Trying being the key word.
Yes.
I mean, it's working, but we got some stubborn clouds all across the region that is going to give us off and on some light snow showers and flurries, but not as persistent and consistent as it has been since yesterday afternoon. About 6 o'clock this morning, it started to taper a little bit, which is good news. But about 1 to 2 inches has fallen on the metro already creating issues all across the region. So even though it sounds like a small amount, you want to make sure you take it easy, because it is still creating traffic problems. Our storm vision showing that over the course of the last few hours, we have seen intermittent light snow off and on, and now we continue, especially in our southern suburbs as well as the southern metro, to see some more of that light snow. And that's going to be the case all day today, folks. Off and on with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures warming to about the mid-20s. And then we'll get flurries coming in here tonight, and then it'll stick around until tomorrow morning before this moves on out. Until noon today, 3 to 4 inches, though, however, for our southern counties and south central portions of Minnesota, as well as Wisconsin and up into the North Shore area. And that's for up to 4 inches of snowfall. And I've had a lot of you emailing me, really going south on I-35 from Mankato, especially into Rochester as well, emailing me that it is slicker in that region, especially coming from the metro because of the additional snowfall, which makes sense. So just make sure if you're heading south, just anticipate that it is going to be a harder road for you. So let's take a look right now outside. You can see that sun's trying, but we're going to see a lot of stubborn clouds out there lasting throughout the day today and tomorrow, hoping to get a little more of it by Sunday. But 19 right now, feel like temperature 12 with northeasterly winds at about 5. 24 today, which is exactly where we're supposed to be for this time of year. Flurries tonight. No additional accumulation expected once we head on into tonight and tomorrow, but we could see up to a ½ inch more during the day today. So not a whole lot more, but still enough to still be slick as you're traveling out and about. 22 degrees as we head on into our Saturday, hoping for a little more sunshine on Sunday, and yes, -2 on Monday night, New Year's Eve. So plan for that. It's going to be a cold one. Merle, how do the roads look out there right now?